Hey, listening squirrels, I apologize for being so sleepy last night. And if you just watched my Vlogmas, I popped one of these, I think, awful candies in my mouth. But I didn't get to the center of it before I had to go. So, trust me, it went in the trash can once I got to the chili and salty part. Okay, back to this story. I got her a glove box and a pen tray, said Belle, and Olive got her a calendar and Whittier's poems. And besides, we're going to give her half of that big plummy fruitcake Mother sent us from home. I'm sure she hasn't tasted anything so delicious for years, for fruitcakes don't grow on Chestnut Terrace, and she never goes anywhere else for a meal. Beth had bought a pretty cup and saucer and said she meant to give one of her pretty watercolors too. Nellie, true to her reputation, had invested in a big box of chocolate creams, a gorgeously striped candy cane, a bag of oranges, and a brilliant lampshade of rose-colored crepe paper to top it off with. It makes such a lot of show for the money, she explained. I'm bankrupt like Jean. Well, we've got a lot of pretty things, said Jean in a tone of satisfaction. Now we must do them up nicely. Will you wrap them in tissue paper, girls, and tie them with baby ribbon? Here's a box of it while I write that letter. While the others chatted over their parcels, Jean wrote her letter, and Jean could write delightful letters. She had a decided talent in that respect, and her correspondents all declared her letters to be things of beauty and a joy forever. She put her best into Miss Allen's Christmas letter. Since then she has written many bright and clever things, but I do not believe she ever in her life wrote anything more genuinely original and delightful than that letter. Besides, it breathed the very spirit of Christmas, and all the girls declared that it was splendid. You must all sign it now, said Jean, and I'll put it in one of those big envelopes. And Nellie, won't you write her name on it in fancy letters? Which Nellie proceeded to do, and furthermore embellished the envelope by a border of chubby cherubs, dancing hand in hand around it, and a sketch of number 2 Chestnut Terrace in the corner in lieu of a stamp. Not content with this, she hunted out a huge sheet of drawing paper and drew upon it an original pen and ink design after her own heart. A Duttish cat. Miss Allen was fond of the number 16 cat, if she could be said to be fond of anything, was portrayed seated on a rocker, arrayed in a smoking jacket, cat, and capped with a cigar waved airily aloft in one paw, while the other held out a placard bearing the legend, Merry Christmas. A second cat in full street costume bowed politely, hat in paw, and waved a banner inscribed with Happy New Year, while faintly suggested kittens gamboled around the border. The girls laughed until they cried over it and voted it the best thing Nellie had yet done in original work. All this had taken time, and it was past 11 o'clock. Miss Allen had cried herself to sleep long ago, and everybody else in Chestnut Terrace was abed when 5 figures cautiously crept down the hall, headed by Jean with a dim lamp. Outside of Miss Allen's door the procession halted, and the girls silently arranged their gifts on the floor. That's done, whispered Jean in a tone of satisfaction as they tiptoed back. And now let us go to bed, or Mrs. Pickrell, bless her heart, will be down on us for burning so much midnight oil. Oil has gone up, as you know, girls. It was in the early morning that Miss Allen opened her door, but early as it was, another door down the hall was half open too, and 5 rosy faces were peering cautiously out. The girls had been up for an hour for fear they would miss the sight, and were all in Nellie's room, which commanded a view of Miss Allen's door. That lady's face was a study. Amazement, incredulity, wonder chased each other over it, succeeded by a glow of pleasure. On the floor before her was a snug little pyramid of parcels topped by Jen's letter. On a chair beside it was a bowl of delicious hothouse roses and Nellie's placard. Miss Allen looked down the hall but saw nothing, for Jean had slammed the door just in time. Half an hour later, when they were going down to breakfast, Miss Allen came along the hall with outstretched hands as to meet them. She had been crying again, but I think her tears were happy ones, and she was smiling now. A cluster of Jean's roses were pinned on her breast. "Oh, girls, girls," she said with a little tremble in her voice. "I can never thank you enough. It was so kind and sweet of you. You don't know how much good you've done me." Breakfast was an unusually cheerful affair at number 16 that morning. There was no skeleton at the feast. At the feast, and everybody was beaming. Miss Allen laughed and talked like a girl herself. "Oh, how surprised I was," she said. "The roses were like a bit of summer, and those cats of Nellie's were so funny and delightful. And your letter, too, Jean. I cried and laughed over it. I shall read it every day for a year." After breakfast, everyone went to Christmas service. Everyone went to Christmas service. The girls went uptown to the church they attended. The city was very beautiful in the morning sunshine. There had been a white frost in the night, and the tree-lined avenues and public squares seemed like glimpses of fairyland. "How lovely the world is," said Jean. "This is really the very happiest Christmas morning I have ever known," declared Nellie. "I never felt so really Christmassy in my inmost soul before." Hang on just a minute. Okay, trying to keep up with my sissies live, but I really wanted to get this done before I got sleepy. Glimpse how lovely the world is in my soul. "I suppose," said Beth thoughtfully, that it is because we discovered for ourselves the old truth that it is more blessed to give than to receive. I've always known it in a way, but never realized it before." "Blessing on Jean's Christmas inspiration," said Nellie. "But girls, let us try to make it an all the year-round inspiration, I say. We can bring a little of our own sunshine into Miss Allen's life as long as we live with her." "Amen to that," said Jean heartily. "Oh, listen, girls, the Christmas chimes." And over all the beautiful city was wafted the grand old message of peace on earth and goodwill to all the world. I was almost done. Just 8 minutes. I may come back on today. We'll see with the next story called The Joseph's Christmas, published in 1902. But if not, then tomorrow. And yeah, it'll be tomorrow because Little Sis is on now till 5, and this is all Eastern time. And at 5:30, Triple C, Creatively Created Crochet, Dana, will have Making Meat from 5:30 to like 8. And then normally Sandy comes on, and then Mimi, but hopefully Sandy's feeling well enough to do it this week. But if not, we understand she needs to heal. Okay, I'm going to bookmark that. And y'all have a Merry, Merry Christmas. Do something Christmassy. Love y'all. Be sweet, don't be ugly. Bye-bye.